In this video, we're going to talk about a new assassin versus Spawn. She's coming for Al Simmons and she's coming for blood. Alrighty then, this is a comic book review of Bloodletter, issue number 1, brought to you by RatedComics. Let's get to it. So pretty much in Bloodletter, what happens when a betrayed CIA agent turns into a mystical mercenary out for revenge? This is where Bloodletter comes in. So in New York City, we're breaking down this narration that Tasha is doing. It's her monologue. It was over for us. The days you tried to convince me the devil was a man, a once beautiful creature who fell from grace. I laughed at your unwavering faith. The devil was senseless murder, prejudice, and genocide, abuse, rape, the evils men do and get away with. But that day, when my face was covered in blood, and he looked at me with the power of life and death in his hands, and the face of every terrible thing in the world, I realized that every one of us has a personal devil. This one is mine, says Tasha. I'm going to end him after I punish him for coming back from hell. And Spawn's like, Thornwall, that's her last name, Tasha Thornwall. I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed. What are you, Simmons? Is God finally giving me a coupon? Spawn, King of Rat City, Al Simmons? Too many names to fit on a tombstone. She's looking badass. And it looks like she's ready to end him right then and there. But before we get to that part, I hate when they do that, but you know what, you got to build the tension and intrigue us in some way. We go back to a flashback in South Africa. Back in time in Cape Flat, South Africa. People are being forced onto a ship. They're told it's for their own safety and that Miss Sugar paid their family's debts and now they're going to get on the ship and die. Well, even though they didn't say that, but this looks like a form of human trafficking right there. But one woman refuses to get on the ship because she knows something's in there and she sees that demon looking Miss Sugar. And this guy is like, go on now, Miss Sugar's waiting for you. And she gets decked in the back of the head like that. But Bloodletter strikes, Tasha strikes. I don't know what this construction steel piece falls on his head and crushes him, but they go in and her attacks are brutal. She's slicing up guys and going through them like red magic, and it's all fun and games. The enemies panic because, you know, all they can do is shoot fire. But hey, you know what? She takes care of business and handles the business to the point where her legend grows. Her enemies call her Bloodletter. Even the bystanders repeat her name, Bloodletter, Bloodletter, Bloodletter. And she's like, okay, that's cool. Appreciate that. Same time tomorrow. I'll be back for you guys. So she's not done. She's going after Miss Sugar as she goes into this ship for some kind of hellish trafficking ship that buys up lost souls or something like that. So she goes in knowing that this ship is cruising around from port to port looking to buy up lost souls. And Miss Sugar, we meet her looking like a hologram of a ghostly image of a cheerful blonde woman, but you can tell she's evil. Hi there, honey. You're not giving yourself a chance. Relax. And Miss Sugar's like, maybe you and I could come to some kind of understanding. Good feelings for everyone. You know, I like that. Shut up, Sugar. You know what this is, right? So when Tasha shows her the sigil, even Bloodletter turns away and repulsed like it's nasty. It's the sigil of the Lugabanda sunlight of the gods. It's powerful old magic. And Tasha's like, that it is. And this particular sigil is known to send great galas like yourself back to the spheres below. But here's the thing, Sugar, I could choose which one to send you to. Meaning I could send you to the 5th, where you came from, or I could drop your little curvy ass to the 10th. And you know what the monads of the 10th do to lower demons like yourself, don't you? And she's like, I sure do. How about I see myself out, but I will be seeing you again. Very eerie, very ominous, right? So Tasha's like, all right, Casper, tell Dutchie the coast is clear. He could bring the van around. So here's a twist of it all. Even though she rescued the people and they thank her for that, this girl's like, you're on the side of angels. Yes. She's like, not if I can help it. So these guys from the van come with, hey, Letter, I come with gifts for one special delivery from my friends at Baghdad. Bruh, the trade is made. Escort my cargo. And this lady is like, I thought you were an angel, but we're cargo? You sold us out to the skin trader? I didn't, says Bloodletter. You did. Deals with the devil are transferable. She's like, no, please change my mind. And even though these souls were lost because that's who the Miss Sugar wanted, she just buys up lost souls. Well, turns out, I guess, I don't know what this play is. And this is where the book kind of gets me at. Did she do this for leverage? Did she do this for revenge? Is she just a flawed character? I don't know why she's sold like that. And I don't even know how this even came about. But Tasha calls up Casper and tells Casper, I got the scrolls, meet me at my place, bring paper plates. Now we see Tasha in her write-out, and she goes into her monologue again. It's been a while since I've written. In part, I've been short on time thanks to a new client. I've also been short on ink, thanks to my body's near constant exposure this past decade. Because she's always draining herself because she writes in her stuff in her blood. But she continues, my blood now acts as a better encryption tool for the kind of enemies I've made than any of the high-tech jobs I used in my old job. So, hey, I guess there's a reason to that. Right in your own blood, they can't encrypt that kind of stuff. But computers, they can. They can't hack it. And her enemies can't hack it. So Amanda asks Casper, what does this say? And Casper tells her, it says you just stop mainlining black magic, human fool. I think I got it. You feel anything? Man, they're doing this ritual and Bloodletter's like, nope, not yet. And Casper's like, honestly, this mystical crap is totally not my specialty. Give me some terabytes, give me some technology and we'll do it. But now they figure it out. So this new spell all of a sudden gets activated. This new spell gets activated. This magic scroll creates a burst of energy and Tasha's body lights up glowing with sigils and letterings. So now what happened? So Tasha says it's a cuneiform form. Capridum synagogue, used by the unknown exorcist to cast out unclean spirits, usually gets credited to Christ himself. In other words, another weapon for another arsenal. She unlocked a new power. That's pretty dope right there. Now Casper jokes about, having been sterile, and is there any bacteria in heaven? Is that even in the Bible? I do read the Bible myself. I don't think there's anything like that anyways, but and then again, I haven't fully read the Bible, so I'm just going to say I don't think so. So Casper's like, I know what is in there. It's most of the old books. Almost like is well-worn wisdom. Forgiveness will set you free, says Casper. And Tasha's like, forgiveness is a lie people tell themselves, Casper. Everyone always wants to get even for something, especially the people who read those old books. But Tasha arms herself with this magical dagger, and she goes into her monologue. A decade, 10 years. Is that really how long I've been out in the cold? So now we go to Port-au-Prince, Haiti. An explosion happens at this fancy house. A man named Antonio is running, and he goes up to Merlandi, if I'm saying it right, and she hugs him saying, I don't know why this attack is political. I don't know why it's getting through it like that. And even though the attacks may be political, it's something much worse than that. So now these these CIA men, they go down and like eyes on the target and Typhoon. Get up, do it. And it's all happening in Haiti right now. Antonio's like, Typhoon? Merlandi? Who are you? That doesn't matter right now. What matters is keeping you alive at all costs, and that I'll be back for you. Not gonna happen. That's gonna haunt Tasha forever. And she likes to tell herself that day will never fade from her memory. And then she continues her monologue. But it does. A little with each sunrise, the order in which my unit died lost a red mist punctuated by 9mm rounds. And that's her entire unit right there. So she goes into her dead comrades like, this is Typhoon. Listen to me, damn it. I got a USSG, which is the United States Security Group. So now that we know what USSG stands for, it's interrupting and decision extraction. I repeat, this is CIA violence. But one thing that never gets any quieter is his voice. Yeah, no shit, agent. And that happens to be Al Simmons. That's what happens when you don't follow orders, Typhoon, orders of Merlandi. So many names, but they all won't fit on your tombstone. That's what Al Simmons says, and you funny how when he says that, that's exactly what she tells him at the beginning. Kind of cool way to tie it back. So Lieutenant Colonel Al Simmons is some of all dirty tricks, a man who left no stone unturned. And we get some intercom telling Simmons this better be cleaned up before President Toussaint takes his second term. I'm gonna make it a recommendation from the field of Director Wynn. So Tasha takes the grenade from her dead partner, throws it up for a distraction. So after she throws up the grenade to distract Al Simmons and clearly disappears from that, Al Simmons gets the command, burn the resistance and Tasha Thornwall to the damn ground. They're using her as an scapegoat because even a blunt instrument can shadow your world. So after Al Simmons gets his orders, Tasha goes on into her monologue because even a blunt instrument can shatter your world. I ran and ran so far I eventually ran out of road. But you can keep moving without road. You just end up in places that aren't marked on the map. Now she finds herself back with Dutch, and the crew, and they want to sell her some cargo and probably people again. But she doesn't want to be disrespected like that. She's in a secret underworld where soldiers and ancient weapons are hidden. So here, it's an underbelly of which the sun never shines, a den of cast out soldiers from never-ending wars and the ancient weapons of sane people have forgotten how to use. Amongst all this secret machinery, she thought she survived, knowing that she couldn't put the pieces back of her shadow world back together. So she built a new one from shards, and she's rebuilding her power piece by piece. And that's Tasha seeing the headline of missing artifacts right there. But now she's tired of the back alleys, the trading of souls, the Duchess of the world. She's been out in the cold for so long, and what if everything that she's endured at the cost of all this blood is for nothing? And she sees this lady from the beginning of the issue when she rescued them from, Miss Sugar, but she transferred their souls because souls are transferable, or deals with the devil are transferable. And now she sees Al Simmons on TV. And this goes back to, I think, Spawn issue 297, 298, 299, I don't know. But when she sees Spawn on TV, she uses a mysterious spell and her eyes glows and she summons powerful blue energy. And it just does damage throughout the room. Whatever power she unleashed, it murked a lot of people. And she kills this guy right there. So she says, I transfer the deal. Now it's with me. Go now and don't look back. And she tells that lady from the beginning of the issue, even though she sees this article of missing artifacts. So she tells Casper, we've taken everything Cape Flats could possibly have given us. We're leaving. Now we need to find something to rip through that freaking Hellspawn. So Casper is upstairs doing his thing, trying to find out more about this Hellspawn. And Casper is like, he's tracking all different versions of Hellspawn. A way ahead of you, says Casper. I mean, like Ezekiel said, I've got eyes everywhere. And what I'm seeing about this particular spawn, he likes to keep everyone who has the means to destroy him real close. We see Sea Spawn, Nyx, Medieval Spawn, Gunslinger Spawn, and Redeemer. So when it's time to kill the devil, says Tasha, we're going to kill him. And this time, he's going to stay dead. In the next issue, we're going to go into Scorched Earth of Bloodletter, issue number 2. But that is the final review and the completion of Bloodletter, issue number 1. What you guys think of this comic book? Comment below, let me know. And it's kind of cool that a former CIA agent is turning into a mystical mercenary. So now that she was betrayed in Haiti during a mission, blamed for a mess, and left to die, she now uses blood magic and sacred artifacts to hunt down the supernatural, especially Spawn. She saves some victims from what she did before or transferred the deal, but I'm not sure if it's out of kindness. It seems like she has her own code. But at the end, she declares war on our boy Al Simmons. So I'm not gonna lie, it definitely took me a few times to read this to get it. So I hope I explained it to where you guys understand it on this channel, but let me know. Don't forget to check out RatedComics.com for some really cool limited print Rated Comics exclusives to add to your comic book collection. Support the art, support the industry. With all that being said, thank you again for watching. Till the next upload.